Welcome to That's Joy, the podcast. I'm your host, Cece Calbanero, and I'll be sharing stories of miracles, God moments, and unpacking the truth behind what joy truly means. My friend, when God gives you a direct call on your life, be sure to answer it. Here's to answering my call together. Hello, and welcome back to That's Joy, the podcast. I am your host, Cece, and I am so grateful you clicked play on this episode. Of all the episodes in all the podcast land, there are several to choose from. I'm so grateful that we get to share an ounce of time together today. I am very excited for today's episode because we have someone near and dear to my heart who is oh so special. But before we go there, I want to share a little joyful noise. Now, my joyful noise of the week is the fact that I have not released an episode for a couple of weeks. I know. A lot of y'all are like, Cece, where are you at? I'm holding you accountable, girl, which I so appreciate. And also, life be lifing when you're doing a million things and trying to build all the things. And so, by the grace of God, we were so fortunate to spend 12 days in California. The beginning of that trip was for a little work kind of play trip in Southern California, and Jonathan and I love Southern California so much. We love sidecar donuts so much. We love the coffee and the acai bowls, and I mean we love it so much. So we got to spend time there. And then we shot up to Northern California, the Bay Area where my family is from, where we got to celebrate several birthdays. I'm talking 3 very important birthdays in my life. One is my mother's 60th birthday and why you are plugging in today. 2 is my older brother's birthday. And 3 was my little nephew who just turned 1, his birthday. So there were so many festivities, and I am so grateful for that time. So that is my joyful noise, is just being able to spend quality time with the people you love. And honestly, friends, I am pumped about today's episode because I just was like, man, I really want to have my mom on the podcast. She was on the previous podcast that I had before we rebranded, but I wanted her on again. And we didn't get a chance to record in person together. So instead, I wanted to just phone my mom and ask her and call her just like I would, but allow you guys the opportunity to hear an inside scoop too. So let's give my mom a little ring.
Hi, Caroline.
Hi, Mom. I want to... Okay. Hi, Mom.
Hello. How are you?
I have a few questions for you.
Yeah, what is it?
All right. So we're going to put this on the podcast. No pressure. But I wanted to do an interview while we were in California, but as you know, it was so busy and we had so many different events while I was home. So instead, I was like, man, I want to know what my mom's best piece of advice would be for turning 60 and living 60 years of life. And so I think a lot of people hear that and they often think of like an old person. But when I think of you, I don't think that you're old at all. And like everybody at your birthday party, y'all, if you guys haven't followed my Instagram and seen some of the content that I shared from my mom's party, she slayed it and she does not look 60 at all. And so many of her friends...
Thank you.
So many of her friends say that too, but I was like, man, 60 years is actually a long time. So I have just a couple questions that I want to ask you because I know that 1, it'll be so valuable for the person listening, and 2, I'm just curious to know because I haven't asked you yet. So are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. The first question I have for you is, what would be your best piece of advice for 60 years of life?
Well, let me just start off that I'm so thankful to God that I passed 60 because honestly, looking back, 60 years of life, that's like more than a century. I mean, half a century, more than half a century. And honestly, it's like I was scared, before turning 60. Am I gonna make it? Am I not wake up? Because there's so many stories that people not reaching 60 and stuff. You just never know, right?
Yeah.
So the day of my birthday, and I woke up, thank you God. It's like I made it. A day after, I still made it. So looking back is like I grew up, I'm the baby out of 11 kids. I had a good life, since birth, as far as I can remember. And everything is nice until going to college and stuff. Coming here at the age of 18, 19, that's when it's all started. Because if I can change anything in my life, I would not get married at the young age. But, it's overdone and, everything has a purpose. I always believe in that. God has purpose for everything. Everything that happens in your life is already planned.
Yeah.
But if I can change something, that's what I would change. But, through the struggle, and when I got married and all that stuff, I had my loving family supporting me. And, I turned closer to God when I was like 30s, not until 30s, but I was born again before even coming here. But then I got closer when I, turned older. Because my best friend is really like, have a good relationship with God. It's like, find a church, and stuff. So with that said, that what really pulled me through with all the struggles. I would have not done it. So when I completely gave, my life to God and just completely trust Him, everything seems to be like, like I'm worried, but at the same time I'm not worried because I know that He got me all the time.
Yeah.
So my piece of advice, for people, don't worry about the things we cannot control. It's out of our control completely. The day we were born and stuff, and every day, it's like, we just don't know what's going to happen until you wake up again in the next morning.
Yeah.
So worry is like, that's the thing that, I do worry, but then as soon as I prayed and, give it back to, to Him to take care of it. And of course, I'll do my thing to, because I always believe that He's going to show me the way. That's how I pray too. Whenever I go through a struggle, it's like I worry, and then please show me the way how to get out of this.
Mm-hmm.
And sure He does all the time. And being a single mom for 17 years is not easy either. But like I said, God got me.
Yeah.
So it's like, not to worry, live your life, and do the best that you can do. Always, be the better person. I always advise that to my kids. It's like, whenever they talk to me, talking about other people and stuff, just be the better person all the time, because God sees all the things that you do, and He's going to reward you for all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So, I've heard people say to me, I have a kind heart, have a big heart. And that's the only way to go in this world, because you cannot, accomplish anything being in a bad side.
That's
and,
good.
Yeah.
That's really good. I hope that I know that people are listening and you're probably like, oh, I see where Cece gets it now, because so much of my mindset was built around you and how I was brought up. And it was cool because during your birthday, we all did the roses, and there was probably about 24 people or so who spoke and said something that they loved about you. But what was really cool was that the through line that I kept hearing back and forth was how incredible you are for raising all three of us, me and my brothers, the way that you did, and for majority of our lives on your own, and how we turned out is just beyond. But it's such a testament to you, because even in the moments where we didn't have it, and when I mean it financially, there were moments where we really didn't have it. And then there were other times where it was just hard and stressful and fights and all of that. But no matter what, you always saw a problem, but never feared that there wasn't a solution with God. And I think that that is so amazing to be able to have that mindset. And it's not just like in our family, like not even all of your siblings or all of our family have that mindset. But by the grace of God, you have that mindset. And I think that that is so powerful. It makes me curious too, to my second question, which is, if you could tell your younger self one thing or one sentence, but just one thing, what would that thing be to that 18-year-old self?
At 18 years old, self, yeah, like I said, if you can better yourself, always do it, without a doubt, because that's the only way you can be successful in life. And always be a good example, for the people that's looking up to you. And be always loving, surround yourself with lots of love with family and friends. And like, never, like, keep a hatred in your heart, because that will, cause you to be the bad person. And you probably look older. Like, people asking me, I don't look like at my age, because I don't stay angry, and I just always, be happy, and take care of yourself well, because at 18, you just don't know. So I started at a young age. Take care of yourself, to stay beautiful, to stay young, right? So, yeah.
That's good. And then the semi last question that I have, but I'll ask you the one that I ask every guest. But I'm curious to know, after 60 years of life, what do you think are some of your proudest moments?
My proudest moments are my kids. It's like, I am so thankful every day that, my prayers were answered, because, like I said, being a single mom for 17 years, I had no choice. I had no options, because I had to work. I had to provide for my family. And all I can do is pray, 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 pray. And I'm so thankful up to this date, and the follow, in the future, to forget to keep guiding my kids to the right pathway. That's all I pray every single day, because it's it's the things that I'm looking forward to, is just from here on, is just, to watch my kids spend more time and watch them to be successful in life.
Yeah. At the other question, where I wanted to ask you was, what are you looking forward to? I know that the show The Bachelor, or The Golden Bachelor, has made it so that more people get excited about getting older. I think for so long people feared getting older, and then they think that their life ends after their career ends, but you're approaching retirement years, and I feel like your mindset is still so youthful. Like there's still so much life to live, and if God blesses you in the same amount of years that he blessed Nanai with, which is 98 years, I'm like, shoot, you still have 38 years of life. That's a whole that you could do a lot, so
yes, now that I passed 60, I I'm not worried about getting much older anymore, because I think, I've seen a lot of gifts from God, and bless me with all good stuff, like, that there's so many to mention it. But what I look forward is, like, spend more time with family, because you cannot bring it back.
Yeah.
and travel, and sometimes I envy other people, doing it in the younger age, but you know what? So what? There's just like 5 years short or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you can do it and find a way, do it, because that's the best memories you can leave behind. Money, you can always, comes and go,
Yeah.
but the memories, it stays forever.
Yeah, that's so true. And that's
And
why we have so many plans for all the places we want to go. But
yes.
okay,
Mm.
thanks mom for all your advice and for everything that you have given all of us. Like I said in my speech, I feel so grateful to be able to call you mom, and I would not have what I have. I would not share how I share had it not been for the foundation that you laid. And so I'm so, so grateful for that. And I have to ask you the question that I ask every single guest on That's Joy. And it is, what does joy mean to you?
Joy means surrounded by people that you love. Joy means doing things that will make you smile, that will make you feel happy without any regrets. And joy is being close to God.
Yeah, that's so good. Well, I would say you could follow my mom on Instagram, but she doesn't really post a lot there. So
I
who
don't.
knows? Maybe there's a
Facebook is
career.
too much already for me.
She might have an influencer career and be on the Golden Bachelorette one day.
All right.
Who knows? If you have a
Who knows?
bachelor dad who is single and in his 60s and has a retirement, please reach out. But, Mom, thank you so much for being here. I know that
Of course.
people were blessed.
All right. Well, I love you. I'll talk to you later then.
All right. Love you, Mom.
All right.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
All right, you guys, I hope that you were encouraged from my mom. I hope that even though it was short and sweet, there were little golden nuggets that you found within all of the advice that she shared. I mean, even as she shares those things as her daughter and as someone who converses with her regularly, I'm like, man, it's such a great perspective shift. Like, I know what she's been through. I was also alongside her for the things that she's been through, but just to hear how all of the learnings and all of the things that God has taught her on the other side just never ceases to amaze me. And I'm always so in awe of the way that she has stewarded everything that has come her way. And so I hope that you were encouraged by this. If there's a certain part of this episode that you loved, man, I'd love to hear what that is. You can shoot me a text at 615-813-4813. If you're not following me on social yet, you can follow me at CCALBONERO on Instagram and on TikTok. And if you're not following That's Joy yet, then go do that as well. Y'all, I'm trying to increase my content game, and so y'all can hold me accountable from the sidelines. But if you're not yet subscribed to my newsletter, I have big plans for this in 2025. And so subscribe to my newsletter by going to the show notes or heading to that'sjoypodcast.com. And what else do I have for y'all? I think that's it. If you are new here, then we'll never leave an episode without saying, if you have even the smallest desire to meet the creator of the universe, or if you're already saved but you're not really free, I want to invite you to sit at the table of plenty with me and so many others. I'm telling you, there's abundance here. There is overflow here, and there's so much joy here. I'm here to tell you that God is for you. All you have to do is invite him into your heart right now. He's waiting for you. He wants to meet with you, and I am so proud of you. If you just made this decision, I'd love to know you. Shoot me a text to that number in the show notes so I could pray for you. I love you. God loves you. And until next time, I'll talk to y'all next time. Thank you so, so much for being here.